Welcome back to part 2 of Project Clownshoe. As you can see, the front passenger suspension is all bent up, leading to this sketchy indoor driving. But we'll be taking care of that first, and then we'll also be tackling a bunch of little smaller interior and exterior things. There's a lot of things that we need to get out of the way so we can get this car back on the road again. All right, we have the Clownshoe in the air. Let's go ahead and see what we need to do on it. First of all, we need to get this wheel off of here. You look closely, it's hitting the side skirt. The side skirt is metal right here. So on the outside, the visible portions are perfectly fine, but underneath it did fold it up. So we'll see if we can get that fixed before paint to make sure that is 100%. Otherwise, we need to replace this side skirt. And then of course, we're missing the fender liner up here. Looks like the wheel itself actually might have survived this. We'll put it on the wheel balancer and see. Otherwise, yeah, definitely the tire took a hit. We'll be replacing these anyway, but we definitely want to see if that wheel got damaged. We just got the tire sway bar off for now. Now let's get this control arm out of the way. Out with the old, in with the new. Here's our old control arm, and here's what the replacement control arm looks like. As you can see, a whole big bend on that one, so hopefully that will get our wheel back into place. And then this is the old sway bar. We just went ahead and we're just going to replace the whole sway bar just in case, since the bushings are a little bit lower mileage on the new one, and the sway bar end links also, so we'll just go ahead and throw that in there next. These new parts go in a whole lot easier. The old ones came out, luckily. No signs of bending on these. Let's go ahead and get everything cinched up now that everything is in place. We are done with the control arm install. Let's get the sway bar in here. I'll start by putting in the end links on the control arm first. Alright, moment of truth. We have the new control arm and sway bar and links on there. Let's throw the wheel on and see if everything lines up properly. So far, looking at it, eyeballing it, it looks good. We'll measure the distance from here to here and on the other side as well. And looks a little bit further apart on that side, but that might just be something that the alignment can take care of. So we'll go ahead and get this on the ground and see how it feels. While we were under here, decided to go ahead and take off the the driver's side fender liner. We already have a replacement for it right here. We just won't be putting it on until the car comes back from getting painted. Definitely a whole lot of sand, dirt, everything from California came all the way to Florida with this car. And here's one more discovery I just made: the rear O2 sensor, or the O2 sensor for one of the banks. A couple of the wires are ripped, so I'm gonna go ahead and check the the car with the scanner to see if that's what the check engine light is for. Probably another code or two for something else because it's a BMW. And here's a BMW Roadster that we're parting out, a 2001 3.0 also, so we'll be able to take some mechanical stuff off of here. This is the car that's going to be donating its wheels and tires. The interior is actually in excellent condition. Too bad our car is blue and the red interior won't really match it too well, but let's see what else we can get off of here. This car was crashed in the front, so unfortunately all I can take from this one was a fender liner. If we end up needing a core support or if anything else ends up bent, then I can take it off of here, but so far that's all we can take off of here for now. Let's see how many codes are on this car. Boom, misfire detected, O2 sensor, of course, evap large leak, cam position sensor, O2 sensor again, O2 sensor again, evap leak, cam position sensor. All right, so in this case we'll start with the easy one. We'll start with the O2 sensor, clear the code, see what's going on, and then look for that large evap leak and go from there. So here's where we're at with the Clownshoe. After fixing the passenger front suspension, which was mangled, we've gone ahead and put the wheels and tires that we'll be using for now on here, the ones with the good tires. We've gone ahead and washed the car to at least give us a better look as to what the car would look like if it gets repainted in this topaz blue color, or if we go with another color for it. Also wanted to get off a lot of the grime that was going on, so gotten a lot of that off there. We still have some Gorilla Glue to deal with here to see if we can salvage this coupe part. This we can just replace. If not, we'll have to get a new one. And then on the interior, we've got it all nice and cleaned up. Everything is actually in very good shape, except for a couple parts that you see here that we'll be replacing. Of course, the handle, the new handle. I have to. It looks like Z3 owners are lovers of Gorilla Glue. We got some more Gorilla Glue on there, so I'll have to try to get that off before installing it. The new cup holder cubby, a new shift knob, all that stuff. Here's the rest of the exterior of the car. While we're at it, we're going to go ahead and remove all this clear ball. This is going to take a little bit of time with the steam cleaner. We'll be able to get under there and just peel it off little by little. And start it off over here. It's just going to be something that's time consuming. And of course, we still have to get the spoiler for it. The rear end, nothing needs replacing other than that spoiler. On this side, everything is good, and the wheel is nice and straight now. And I'm going to go ahead and mount the headlights on here so we can at least street drive the car and test it out. The driver's side headlight actually survived. Of course, it needs to be cleaned up and polished. The passenger headlight is missing a couple tabs on it, but at least we'll be able to mount it temporarily so we can get this thing on the street and test driving it. Here's where the interior stands. We have our new handle on the door, nice and sturdy. Didn't have to replace the door handle or the door panel, just the handle itself. And then of course we have our new all leather shift knob, our new cup holder cubby. Ended up keeping the old e-brake handle assembly with the boot. That was in better shape than the replacement one, and then just replacing the wooden part on there. This one has the chrome button anyway, so we wanted to keep that on there. And here's good riddance to you, and all the other parts. Taking a look at the trunk area, spent a ridiculous amount of time back here. This thing was covered in a bunch of blue lint all over the place. This board had some missing screws, so it wasn't sitting in place. So you can remember the battery was different, not sitting in place. That area needed some cleaning up, and now everything is in place. Only thing missing is the little warning triangles. We'll get some of those later. So the last thing to do back here is actually to fix all this fraying on this little cargo cover. Definitely don't want to replace that if we don't have to. So let's see if with a lighter we can get all this fraying to go away. Safety first. We don't want to be doing a fire rebuild project on this coupe here. So let's go ahead and see how we can clean that up. Alright, looks good. And there we have it. That edge looks way better than it did before. Does not look like a cargo cover that needs replacing now. Don't forget our custom 2019 hood shock holder tool right there. Alright, underneath the engine bay, everything is looking much better. We've done a general cleaning under here, and the biggest concern was if the threads on this oil filter housing were damaged. Luckily they weren't. It just seems like somebody forgot to tighten this completely. Luckily the O-ring was still fine, so after tightening it, everything is fine. Oil level is fine. But before we get it on the road, I definitely want to see what's going on over here. I'm not trying to win any stance competitions with this car, but apparently we have a lot of negative camber going on and some toe issues. So something is probably bent on this side, probably from when the car was picked up at the auction with a forklift. So on to the lift it goes again, and we'll see what's wrong with it. Alright, and that does it for this installment. Luckily we've gotten a good amount of progress done. Our front wheels are now straight. The interior, the exterior look a lot better. Now on the next installment we'll be tackling the funky alignment situation we have going on in the rear. Hopefully it's nothing too big, and then chipping away at all the other diagnosing and fixing that we have to do. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to subscribe so you can keep up to date with all the updates on Project Clownshoe. And as always, thank you for watching.